When you scan a QR code to pay for your coffee, it just feels like a simple convenience, right? But what if I told you that Simple Scan is actually part of this massive global shift? A revolution that's not just about how we pay, but about rebuilding small businesses from the ground up. It might sound a little out there, but that's the big question we're going to dig into today. We're going to see how that tiny black and white square can unleash this powerful chain reaction, creating opportunities that, honestly, just didn't exist before. So, to really get it, we're going to follow this ripple effect, broken down into 5 parts. We'll start with the first splash, a single payment, and then follow those waves as they spread out, changing a single business, then its whole network, and finally the entire local economy. Okay, let's start right at the beginning, the splash. This is that fundamental switch, right? Going from physical cash that you can hold in your hand to digital data that just moves in an instant. That's it. Seriously, one customer, one phone, one little QR code. This simple 2-second action is the trigger for everything else we're about to talk about. It's the front door to a whole new way of doing business. So now we get the first ripple. This wave hits the business right away, and it totally changes how things work on the inside, turning chaos into a streamlined process. It's all about becoming an efficiency engine. Just think about the old way, right? Counting out change, fumbling with bills, and then having to manually write everything down in a ledger at the end of a super long day. Forget that. Here, the payment's confirmed, inventory's updated, and the cash flow is right there on a screen. All of it in real time. It's just seamless. And this is the immediate payoff. All of a sudden, business owners get this crystal clear, predictable view of their finances. These simple digital tools do all the boring work, which frees them up to focus on what they actually love, running their business. All right, so with all that new efficiency on the inside, the business can finally start to look outwards, and that's our second ripple. Using these digital payments to knock down old barriers and open up brand new markets. Before, a small shop could be like an analog island, totally dependent on whoever just happened to walk by the front door. But now, it becomes a node in a huge digital network. It can reach customers anywhere in the country, connect way better with suppliers, and plug into these massive online marketplaces. I mean, just picture a rural artisan or a farmer. Suddenly, they're not just selling to their own village. They're connected to a big city, or maybe even the whole country. Their potential market size just explodes. And this newfound reliability has another really important benefit. Because these digital payments are instant and traceable, suppliers get paid faster. That builds trust. And trust, that can unlock much better deals. We're talking about things like bulk discounts that can slash costs by, say, 10 to 15%. That directly boosts a small business's profit margin practically overnight. Now we get to the third ripple. And, this one is huge. It's all about how these digital transactions create something that a lot of small businesses have never, ever had before, a formal financial identity. It really boils down to this simple equation. Data equals trust. See, every single digital transaction is a data point. It's a record of revenue. And over time, all these little data points create a verifiable history of the business's health. And that digital trail is what builds trust with the formal financial world. It proves the business is reliable. And that trust, it's the absolute key to proving creditworthiness. For a tiny business that used to run entirely on cash, they were basically invisible to banks. But now, with a digital transaction log, they have hard proof that they're a reliable, investable business. This digital trail unlocks so many benefits. It's not just about getting a loan either. It's about using your past sales data to plan for the future, like a seasonal shop knowing exactly when to stock up. And it's also about just looking more professional with digital invoices and receipts, which builds confidence with your customers. So for our final wave, we're zooming all the way out. We've seen how one business can be totally transformed. But now, what happens when this change sweeps across an entire community? Just try to imagine it. All those individual benefits we just talked about. The efficiency, the bigger markets, the access to credit. Imagine all of that happening at the same time to hundreds or even thousands of businesses in the same town. The ripple effect becomes a tidal wave. See, digital money is visible. It's traceable. You can actually see it flowing through the system. And that visibility makes money way more productive. It gets reinvested back into the community, it pays local suppliers, it fuels growth, and, this is a big one, it enters the formal tax system, which helps fund public services for everyone. And that's really the bottom line. That one simple scan doesn't just help one shopkeeper, it creates a stronger, more resilient, and more prosperous local economy for everybody. The splash from that single QR code has become a tide that lifts all boats. So as we wrap this up, let's just leave with this thought. We followed the journey of a single digital payment, watching it transform a business and then a whole community. But as this becomes the new normal pretty much everywhere, how does it change the way we think about opportunity, about growth, and about our own role in the economy? Definitely something to think about.